The most sophisticated forensic analysis in the world carries little weight if the findings cannot be communicated effectively to those who must make legal or business decisions. This episode explores how to write forensic and investigation reports that are clear, accurate, and persuasive to a diverse audience of readers. In the professional realm of digital forensics, your report is the primary product of your labor and serves as your voice in the boardroom or the courtroom. Typically, a report must satisfy the needs of both the highly technical peer reviewer and the non-technical judge or executive. What this means is that we are learning to bridge the gap between complex binary data and a compelling, factual narrative that stands up to intense scrutiny. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. A truly effective forensic report succeeds by translating complex technical findings into a cohesive narrative that non-technical judges, juries, and corporate executives can easily understand. You are essentially acting as a translator, taking abstract concepts like registry keys or unallocated clusters and explaining their significance to the case. In practice, the reader should not need a degree in computer science to follow the logic of how a specific piece of evidence was found or why it matters. Typically, the most persuasive reports are those that focus on the who, what, when, where, and why of the digital activity. By focusing on the story told by the data, you ensure that your technical expertise serves the broader goals of the legal or administrative process. A fundamental way to improve your communication is to practice by summarizing a difficult technical concept using a simple analogy that anyone can easily follow and grasp. For example, you might compare a file system's master file table to a library's card catalog to explain how a file can be deleted while the data remains on the physical disk. In practice, these analogies help to demystify the technology and make your findings more accessible to a layperson who may be intimidated by the technical details. Typically, a well-chosen analogy can be the difference between a judge understanding your point or becoming lost in the technical weeds. What this means is that you are using relatable human experiences to ground your abstract digital evidence in a way that resonates with your audience. A major and frequently occurring pitfall in professional report writing is using too much technical jargon, which confuses the reader and inadvertently weakens your primary legal point. While it is important to be technically accurate, a report filled with acronyms and geek speak can make the reader feel excluded or frustrated. In practice, every time you use a technical term like volatile memory or hashing algorithm, you should provide a brief, plain language explanation of what it means in that specific context. Typically, a confused reader is less likely to be persuaded by your conclusions and may even view your complexity as a way to hide a weak argument. This realization highlights why simplicity and clarity are the ultimate signs of professional mastery in the field of investigative writing. You can achieve a significant and immediate quick win for your reporting process by including a concise executive summary at the very beginning of every single investigation report you produce. This section, usually no more than one page, should provide the most important findings and conclusions without requiring the reader to dig through the technical details. In practice, many high-level decision-makers will only read this summary, so it must be powerful, accurate, and fully supported by the evidence that follows. Typically, the executive summary acts as a map for the rest of the document, highlighting the key milestones of your investigation. What this means is that you are respecting the time of your busy readers while ensuring your most critical points are delivered with maximum impact. It is helpful to visualize a professional prosecutor or a corporate attorney reading your report and understanding exactly how a crime was committed and precisely who was responsible for the actions. Your report should provide a clear and unbroken path from the initial incident to the final conclusion, leaving no room for ambiguity or doubt about the sequence of events. Typically, a successful report allows the legal team to build their strategy with total confidence, knowing that the technical facts are solid and easy to present. In practice, the clarity of your writing directly influences the likelihood of a successful prosecution or a favorable settlement for your organization. This visualization serves as a powerful reminder that your words have the power to influence the course of justice and organizational history. In the formal structure of a forensic document, you should always use a dedicated chain of custody section to describe the specific part of your report that proves the integrity of the evidence. This section provides the detailed log of who handled the evidence, where it was stored, and how it was protected from the moment of collection to the moment of analysis. In practice, this is often the first area that a defense attorney will attack, so it must be perfectly documented and beyond any technical or administrative reproach. Typically, the presence of an unbroken chain of custody provides the court with the necessary assurance that the evidence has not been tampered with or altered. What this means is that you are building the foundation of trust upon which all your subsequent findings and conclusions are based. Reviewing your draft carefully for neutral and objective language ensures that you are not seen as biased, unfair, or acting as an advocate for one side of the dispute. A professional forensic examiner is a finder of facts, not a prosecutor or a defense attorney, and your language must reflect this clinical impartiality. In practice, you should avoid using loaded or emotional words like stole, lied, or malicious, and instead use descriptive terms like transferred without authorization or provided inconsistent statements. Typically, an objective tone increases your credibility as an expert and makes your findings much harder to challenge in a legal setting. This commitment to neutrality is what ensures that your hard work in the lab is respected as an honest and scientific account of the digital truth. Imagine a high-stakes scenario where a single, simple typo or a small numerical error in your final report causes the entire legal team to lose their professional credibility during a trial. A mistake in a date, an IP address, or a file name can be used by the opposition to suggest that the entire investigation was performed with a lack of care and precision. Typically, if you cannot get the small details right, a judge or a jury will have a very difficult time trusting your high-level technical conclusions. In practice, this means that every report must undergo a rigorous technical edit and peer review process to ensure that every fact is verified and every typo is corrected. This realization highlights why the final review of your document is just as important as the initial forensic imaging of the hard drive. Every professional writer should anchor their reporting in the cold, hard facts that can be proven with objective data rather than relying on guesses, assumptions, or personal opinions. If you cannot point to a specific log entry, a file artifact, or a mathematical hash to support a statement, that statement should likely not be in your report. In practice, your role is to present the evidence and let that evidence lead the reader to the inevitable conclusion. Typically, a report that is grounded in provable facts is much more resilient to cross-examination and provides a much more stable foundation for the organization's legal strategy. What this means is that you are building a fortress of facts that protects your professional integrity and the integrity of the investigation. We have now discussed the professional structure of a comprehensive investigation report, including the executive summary, the detailed findings, and the technical evidence supporting your work. By mastering these different sections, you are ensuring that your findings are delivered in a way that is both technically sound and easy for your audience to consume. Typically, the most effective reports are those that follow a standardized template, ensuring that no critical information such as the forensic tools used is ever omitted. In practice, this standardization allows your organization to maintain a high level of professional consistency across all its internal and external investigations. This integrated approach to reporting is what transforms raw technical data into a powerful and persuasive tool for organizational justice. A very practical technique is to use clear, descriptive headers and bullet points to make the report easy for a busy lawyer or executive to scan quickly for the most important information. Large, dense walls of text are difficult to read and can cause a reader to miss the critical details of your analysis. In practice, your formatting should guide the reader's eye through the narrative, highlighting the key evidence and the logical steps of your investigation. Typically, a well-formatted report demonstrates a high level of professional care and respect for the reader's time and attention. What this means is that you are using visual organization to complement your clear writing, making your report a pleasure to read rather than a chore to be endured. Writing with absolute clarity and precision ensures that all your hard work in the lab and in the field translates into a winning legal outcome or a successful organizational resolution. When the facts are clear and the evidence is undeniable, the organization can move forward with a sense of certainty and professional poise. Typically, the most successful investigators are those who are known as much for their writing skills as they are for their technical forensic capabilities. In practice, the energy you spend on perfecting your report writing skills today is a direct investment in the long-term impact and credibility of your investigative career. This focus on clear communication is what ensures that your findings remain a trusted and authoritative resource for the global digital economy. This writing session on how to produce reports that read clearly and persuade is now complete, and you have gained a solid understanding of how to communicate your technical work. We have discussed the role of executive summaries, the importance of avoiding jargon, the value of analogies, and the necessity of maintaining an objective and factual tone. A warm and very practical next step for your own professional growth is to take a moment today and read a past investigation report from your department with a critical eye. As you read, look for any technical jargon that could be simplified and ask yourself if the narrative would be clear to a judge who has never seen a server. Moving forward with this observant and disciplined mindset will help you ensure that your investigation reports are always professional, persuasive, and fully defensible.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit BareMetalCyber.com.